Well, we are bringing you live team coverage from Harrisburg this afternoon, where former President Donald Trump is gearing up for a campaign rally. Fox 43's Marshall Keeley is in studio with us to break down the numbers and why the former president is choosing Harrisburg for tonight's speech. Fox 43's James Corrigan is inside the New Holland Arena waiting for Mr. Trump and guest speakers to take the stage. But first, we start with Fox 43's Matt Kleindens, who is outside the Farm Show complex, where supporters have finally been able to go inside. Is anyone left outside right now, Matt?
Hey, Amy, as you can kind of see right behind me, there are still several dozen people trying to make their way into the Farm Show complex. Many of these people have been standing out here for hours on end in the scorching heat, and we did get confirmation from paramedics on site that several people were treated for heat-related injuries. Now, besides that, people are excited to see former President Trump back in Pennsylvania after the attempted assassination against him 2 weeks ago at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Trump returns to Pennsylvania.
He took a bullet for us, and the least we could do is put a little, take a little sun just to show our support.
On Wednesday, thousands of people waited in line to rally with former President Donald Trump at the Farm Show complex. Jamie Crow says she's been in Harrisburg since 4 in the morning to secure her spot in line.
This is my 11th rally. I'm always in the front row. I'm usually in the front row. And I absolutely love President Trump. He's a true patriot.
The event is drawing people from across Pennsylvania and across the country. Lauren and Ted Welsh says they drove from Harrisburg County, Maryland to be at tonight's rally.
We're not complaining about the hour and a half, but it's worth it. As far as we know, that's the closest that he's been in a while.
Wednesday marks the first time Trump has been in Pennsylvania since surviving an assassination attempt at a rally in Butler County 2 weeks ago. Supporters say they are excited to see the former president return to the Commonwealth and hit the campaign trail.
I think Trump, being the leader that he is, showed people hey, you can't be afraid.
He's a fighter for us American people. He's standing by us.
Now, while the last people are trying to get their way inside to the Farm Show complex, we're in the middle of pre-programming coverage here before the former president arrives, and that's where we find Fox 43's James Corrigan with what to expect from tonight's rally. James?
Well, Matt, we've just about wrapped up with the warm-up acts here. We've heard just now from Senate candidate Dave McCormick, of course, facing Bob Casey in November. We heard from Congressman Scott Perry, all of whom have attacked the vice president, Kamala Harris, of course, the former president's opponent in November. We also heard Congressman Lloyd Smucker criticize Governor Josh Shapiro and what could potentially be a sign of things to come in the future. But another message that we've heard from Trump supporters and surrogates has to do with voting early. They're encouraging supporters to vote early. This is certainly a big change from what we've seen in the 2020 election. President Biden overwhelmingly won the votes over the former President Donald Trump than the current President Donald Trump when it comes to early voting. We've heard video messages here from President Trump encouraging supporters to register to vote and vote early in this race, and we've heard that from surrogates who we've talked to here as well.
So in our recent primary in Pennsylvania, we have 50 days of early voting here. We had 49% of Joe Biden's voters vote early and 13% of Donald Trump's voters voted early. If that continues in the general election, Pennsylvania is very hard to win. We have to win Pennsylvania.
Now, the Trump campaign is not the only one active in our area today. Vice President Harris's campaign held an event in Steeling earlier with labor leaders from South Central Pennsylvania in response to tonight's rally. The vice president's supporters today attacked the former president on his record of helping workers and his promises on infrastructure.
I had a guy that promised me an infrastructure bill and never delivered.
Kills jobs!
I had a president that, due to his foreign policy, shipped thousands and thousands of my guys' jobs overseas.
Now, this, of course, is the first rally from former President Trump in Pennsylvania since the attempt on his life in Butler County. It's also the first rally he's held in the Commonwealth since the ascension of Vice President Harris to the top of the Democratic ticket. We'll be very interested in hearing his attacks on the Vice President here tonight as he comes back to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
James, I know you mentioned Governor Shapiro. There has been significant speculation about him being the VP's running mate. With the announcement expected on Tuesday, what are you hearing about the choice? Do you think it's going to be him as well?
Backyard here tonight.
All right, James Corrigan, live inside the farm show in Harrisburg for us tonight. Thank you so much.